Hello, and welcome to today's Wellness webinar. My name is Shane Drosy, and I am the Wellness Coordinator at the National Alliance on Mental Illness in San Diego. I have had the privilege of working on a team of inspiring individuals who devote themselves to empowering our community with cutting-edge technology, apps, training classes, and wellness resources. Our project was funded by the County of San Diego Health and Human Services Agency through the Mental Health Services Act. Our goal was the creation and expansion of opportunities for uses of technology and strategies which support culturally competent recovery and resilience. Our services are provided to existing consumers and family members of consumers of the behavioral health services system. The project was aligned under the MHSA Capital Facilities and Technological Needs Plan and is called the Consumer and Family Empowerment Technology Project, also known as the NAMI San Diego Tech CAFÉ. Thank you so much for joining me today in this wellness webinar. I have the sombering news of letting you all know that this is my last wellness webinar. The Tech CAFÉ's contract is coming to a close this coming Friday, June 30th. Because of that, I would love to take the next 30 minutes to explore all of the good work that was done here at NAMI San Diego's Tech CAFÉ. Before I do get into the bulk of my presentation, as always, I want to go over a little bit of our housekeeping tips with everybody. As you might remember, you'll notice in the upper right-hand corner of your YouTube screen, when you click on it, there's an eye with a circle. After you've clicked on that eye with a circle, you will have the option to engage in a short poll. There's a link that brings you to the Tech CAFÉ website and the option of donating directly to NAMI San Diego. In addition, I will be staying on as social media representative. I'd love for you to continue engaging with me on social media. You can follow us on Twitter and Facebook at NAMI San Diego and on Instagram at nami.san.diego. So as I had just mentioned, this is the last week for the Tech CAFÉ, and it has been such an honor to work on this team. I joined back in December, so I've been a part of the last 7 months of this program. But the Tech CAFÉ has been doing incredible work since 2014 when the contract was received by NAMI San Diego. So to begin, I would like to go over some wonderful statistics that will share with all of you what the Tech CAFÉ has accomplished in the past 2.5 years. 50 Wednesday workshops. Every Wednesday, past and present Tech CAFÉ participants were encouraged to attend a one-on-one workshop to brush up on computer skills learned. They were given the option to troubleshoot issues they may have been experiencing with their mobile devices. We were there to teach them new and innovative approaches to internet security, to receive support in signing up for online or in-person continuing education classes, and so much more. Now, Wednesday workshops were not part of our original contract, but after the first few months of this program, the original Tech CAFÉ workers kind of pinpointed that they wanted to provide more. They wanted to be available more often and for one-on-one interactions with their participants and graduates. So therein lies the Wednesday workshops. It was every Wednesday for 3 hours in the afternoon here at NAMI San Diego's home office, and we got to engage with new participants, see old faces, help people in a way that we couldn't otherwise without these Wednesday workshops. I wanted to begin with a statistic because we helped people for 50 days and it wasn't anything that was mandated by the county. This was just out of the necessity that we saw as a team, that we needed to do more, that we needed to provide more. So that is our 50 Wednesday workshops. $120 webinars recorded. Since the beginning of this contract, webinars have been an integral part of reaching our population. There have been 120 since 2014 recorded. They're on different platforms. We innovated when I got here into YouTube and YouTube Live, which is where you are obviously all watching this beautiful webinar at the moment. But the webinars were created as an addendum to the Basic Skills Computer class. And what that means is we wanted to provide wellness resources and technological ideas, innovative approaches to technology to our participants, to our consumers, from the comfort of their own home. These started out as hour-long presentations for one time a month, and then after the initial year of the contract, it was changed to 24 30-minute webinars. So in total, at the end of this week, 120 have been recorded. Some of the themes explored include CompTIA, which is basically if you want to get into any sort of technology job, it's a great thing to have on your resume. It shows proficiency in basically any kind of technology format. Volunteerism. I got to interview our AmeriCorps volunteer, our VIP AmeriCorps volunteer, Alice, who actually won the Governor's Volunteer Award this past year here in California. Intellectual property and copyright. There's a webinar on resume building. A lot of our participants told us that when they received their device, they were excited to be applying to new jobs, and one of the ways we could help them out was to teach them how to format a resume. So our technology coordinator, Sten, was able to put together a webinar on formatting a resume in Word. Neuropathy, which is kind of a new age approach to medicine. We had an expert come in and talk to NAMI, NAMI San Diego, about neuropathy and how it relates to behavioral health. And that was a really interesting day and created a really fun webinar. One of my favorites, and one of the ones that I'm most proud of, is my Person-First Recovery and Trauma-Informed Adaptive Language webinar. I had the honor of working with somebody who is an expert in all three fields, who spends her life teaching and learning and promoting these adaptive languages through BETA, which is Behavioral Health Education Training Academy, that was put on by San Diego State University, and that was one of the more enlightening webinars that I created that I actually felt like I was really learning something from, and I hope that you enjoyed as well. We had trauma-informed yoga. We met with an individual who is part of the Prison Yoga Project, and he goes into prisons and teaches yoga in a trauma-informed and research-based way, and creates connection and empathy in that kind of negative situation, and that was very interesting. Finally, one of my more recent webinars included Independent Livings, which is a program the Independent Living Association put on by Community Health Improvement Partners, who is our neighbor. And I got to meet with their program manager, who told me the ins and outs of applying to be a participant in an ILA or to perhaps host an independent living in your own home. But that was a very informative webinar. All of the webinars were used to bridge gaps between NAMI San Diego and other County of San Diego Health and Human Services Agency-funded programs. So one of the things that I liked to do was when I was out in the field or when I was meeting our neighbors or other people that are involved in county-funded programs, I wanted to learn what they did and then be able to share that with our consumers. I think one of the most important things we can do in this industry is to create connections and to help one another achieve goals. We all have very similar goals in mind, and I think that when we create those connections, that is where we will eventually be able to serve the most people as possible and have the most collective grasp on the needs of our community. The wellness webinars were created to promote healthy lifestyle, and the tech ones, obviously, for innovative technology understanding, and all in the comfort of your own home. 140 advanced computer class participants. So if you were an overachiever in your basic skills computer class, you had the option of continuing your education here at NAMI San Diego with our wonderful instructor, Kelly Wood. The advanced computer classes were created kind of on a one-on-one basis. So if you wanted to be in a class, you would sign up with Kelly and she would create a schedule around your schedule and around her other teaching schedules. Some of the themes that she covered included antivirus, Skype, basic internet, advanced formatting in Word, history of computers, importing pictures, social media, and making a budget in Excel. Now, these advanced computer classes were part of our original contract with the county, and it was a way for us to help those individuals who had a thirst and a desire to learn more about technology. We had a lot of participants that came in knowing nothing, and they got that bug, they got that first bite of technology, and they couldn't get enough. And this was a way for us to kind of feed that need, to provide our skills to others. And it was a kind of a beautiful way of us creating that connection. "100% of San Diego regions reached." Think about that. We have 3.3 million people in San Diego, spread across a county whose size, I believe, rivals Rhode Island. In this one program, in Central San Diego was able to reach 100% of those regions. Those include South, East, Central, North Inland, North Coastal, and North Central San Diego. We impacted them through the basic skills computer classes, through the senior mobile lab, through presentations and outreach events. But the point is, the Tech Cafe was not stagnant. We were never stuck in our offices. It would be very common to come to San Diego's home office, or NAMI San Diego's home office, and only one Tech Cafe person be here, because everybody's out in the field. Everybody is out working with our community, working with our consumers, working across San Diego. We knew that there was a need for technology to be proliferated out into those underserved communities, and it was important that we reached all of those communities. And I know that this statistic, it exists today, but it existed 2 years ago as well. This is something that the Tech Cafe has been proficient in from the beginning, is reaching 100% of those regions. The Senior Mobile Lab, over 1,500 unduplicated mobile senior lab participants. The Senior Mobile Lab, operated by Legal Aid, was a subcontractor of the Tech Cafe, brought the Tech Cafe to all of those faraway regions to share the gift of technology with this underserved population. At the end of the contract, there were over 1,500 unduplicated seniors that were impacted by the Tech Cafe. So one of those ways, we were just talking about the different regions in San Diego, one of the ways that we reached all of those different regions was through the Senior Mobile Lab. We were able to take our technology to these participants in a mobile way, the mobile lab. And it was something that that we couldn't have done without Legal Aid, and it was a partnership that I know benefited both organizations, and the overall emphasis behind what we are both doing was kind of exemplified through the Senior Mobile Lab. $1,133 total graduates. 1,133 people took the Basic Skills Computer class here at NAMI San Diego. The flagship Basic Skills Computer class taught individuals Windows 10, Microsoft Office, email, internet security and safety, web browsing, and other necessary computing functions in a trauma-informed, culturally competent setting. So when you think about a class, you don't typically have the gamut of individuals sitting in that class. We are teaching something to a population that has been underserved in technology. We realized very quickly that not just anybody could do that job. Not just any person could go out there and teach, anybody could go out there and teach them, but to do it in a way that would be trauma-informed and culturally competent, in a way that would meet people where they are, in a way that would slow down or speed up, depending on the individual's needs, that wouldn't grade people, that wouldn't have the mark be, do you have 100% retention of today's activity? No, the mark is participation. The mark is being there. The mark is showing up. A lot of graduates at the end would say, I've never completed anything in my life, but I completed this. It was a way for us to have 1,133 gratifying moments. Classes were translated into Tagalog, Cambodian, Chinese, Arabic, Vietnamese, Spanish, Russian, and American Sign Language. It's just incredible to me to think about all of those different populations that were able to learn how to use a computer and maybe even a language at the same time, or in the very least brush up on that language. And it was a way of humbling all of us as well, to realize that all of these populations exist around us and are isolated at points. But this was a way of bringing them out of that isolation, of creating community, of creating connection. And 1,133 of them were touched by the Tech Cafe. The youngest participant in class was 13 years old, and the eldest was 94. More than 90 sites were occupied, including mental health clubhouses, independent livings, adult day health centers, children's centers, veteran centers, family services centers, therapeutic recreation, and many more. One of the coolest things about this program is that participants that completed the 7-week course were given the option of keeping the device that they were taught on, with 2 months of technical support remote, with antivirus, and with the most up-to-date Microsoft Office suite. If they chose not to keep that device, they were given the option of going into what we called the lending library. And if they chose that option, they had tech support and antivirus for the lifetime of their enrollment in the program. At the completion of this program, this coming Friday, 1,133 individuals graduated from NAMI San Diego's Basic Skills Computer class. $2,275 oscER sessions. oscER is NAMI San Diego's first mobile application. Launched in 2016, the free mobile application is available in both English and Spanish. Since his launch, oscER has been downloaded 2,275 times, and as of today, has helped navigate 6,122 unique psychiatric emergencies. Towards the end of this webinar, I will be going through the features of oscER, but just let that sink in. 6,122 unique emergencies were navigated by oscER. Finally, over 6,000 individuals were helped in ASKNAMI San Diego Sessions. There were 2,875 individuals that signed up for ASKNAMI San Diego. ASKNAMI San Diego was the first big technology project taken on by the team. It's an interactive, anonymous support tool with pre-populated responses to all of your common mental health and behavioral health questions. And since its inception in 2015, there's over 6,000 individuals who have been helped. oscER. oscER, like I said before, was NAMI San Diego's first endeavor in a mobile application. The app is free to download. It's available in the App Store, iOS, Windows, and Android. Content in oscER is organized before, during, and after a psychiatric emergency, and it provides education for yourself and for your family members. So say you were trying to figure out what a mental health clubhouse was. You would open up the oscER app, click on Before a Crisis, click on What is a mental health clubhouse, and then the answer will be populated in the next screen. The app is also used for in-the-moment help in a psychiatric emergency. So say you were sitting in a psychiatric emergency waiting room with a family member, and you were wondering what their rights were. You would click on During Crisis, what are my family members' rights? And then again, your answer will be populated. We have packed the app full of resources that are specific to San Diego County, including mental health emergencies, food and shelter, legal aid, education and support, walk-in clinics, and so much more. When you find what you're looking for, you click on that category, click on whichever link you need, and it will give you the option of going directly to that website or calling that contact right there from your phone. One of the fun parts about oscER is that we have included 4 soothing soundscapes. We'll have participants tell us they listen to the ocean surf while they're falling asleep at night. I personally listen to the rainforest before I give most of my presentations. It's a way for you to relax and de-escalate yourself in a stressful situation. These 4 sounds were peer-reviewed and were found to be the most relaxing and provide the most help for individuals. But it's something that anyone from lawyers to judges to Tech Cafe participants to family members to mothers to parents to children, everyone can benefit from these soothing soundscapes. One of the really awesome features about oscER and the rest of our mobile applications is once it's initially downloaded, you don't have to have any data. We realized when we were polling and working with our populations that a lot of them didn't have consistent access to internet. So a way for us to curb that was to provide them with all of the resources that they would need and only require one initial download. After that, they just have to have the device on. They don't have to have internet, they don't have to have Wi-Fi, they don't have to have a cell phone plan at that point. They can still listen to the soothing soundscapes. They can still access all of those different pre-populated responses to different emergency situations. They can still get all the help that they need right in the palm of their hand. Alfred and You. Alfred and You is accessing and leveraging your family's rights to education. It is again a free mobile application and available to download in the Apple and Google Play app stores. Alfred and You works with you to leverage your rights to education. Working with the Children, Youth, and Family Liaison, we found here at NAMI that one of the most difficult things to navigate was an individualized education plan. It is what the school system, a public school system, will create for a child that needs special or more intensive services within that school system so that they have equal access to free public education. The mobile application is available both in English and in Spanish. In order to keep up with upcoming events, we have created a calendar feature on Alfred and You. You'll click on the calendar that will be in the top on an Android device or the bottom on an iOS device. That will give you pre-populated options to click on. That would be annual IEP review, initial IEP meetings. Regardless, you'll have the option of clicking on that, and it will open up your native calendar app on your own mobile device. At that point, you will have a reminder that will let you know exactly when that event is coming up. Something that we found was that it was just hard to keep track of all those appointments. So something that we could do to help people keep track of that was to create a calendar feature that would have a little logo on it that told you, hey, Alfred's letting me know I've got an appointment this week. The resources are extensive. One of the things that was really difficult for us to navigate were the extensive lists of acronyms and terms, so we created glossaries for that. And then once you're in the actual content of the app and you see an acronym or you see one of those terms and it's underlined, you can click on that and it will, in that window, open up the definition or define that acronym for you so that you don't have to feel lost anymore. It's a very confusing, complicated situation to navigate. Anything we can do to make it more simple is what we wanted to do. When you're looking through the app and you find something that interests you or is affecting your child or you as a child, you can bookmark it. We have thought of many different ways of using these bookmarks. You could use one color per child. You could use one per type of information that you're navigating. So say you wanted to bookmark something in due process as orange and you wanted to bookmark something on the actual content of the IEP in red. You have those options. Organize it however you think is important. Finally, we worked hand in hand with our developer to create an incredible chart that has every public school that is close to you. All you do is click on resources and find schools. Either type in your zip code or use your Find Me, and it will locate you and show you all the schools that are surrounding you. When you click on the school, it will give you the option of calling that school. You can see the principal, the hours, all of that right there in the palm of your hand. Finally, we are about to launch oscER Jr., oscER's little brother. It is geared towards children, youth, and family. Content includes marijuana, opioid, and other drug information, LGBTQIA resources. And then since we live in San Diego, we felt it important to include a robust legal services, citizenship, and immigration services for everybody. So oscER Jr. is not yet available, but once it is, towards the end of June, beginning of July, you can download it both in the App Store on iOS and in Google Play. All of the mobile devices are available on desktop browsers if you don't have access to a smartphone. They are app.oscER.org, app.alfredu.org, and stay tuned for the desktop version of oscER Jr. As I mentioned at the beginning of this webinar, Ask NAMI San Diego was the first big project by NAMI San Diego. It is an interactive database of resources that individuals can access anonymously. So basically, if you have a question and you don't really feel comfortable asking a person or calling a helpline, you can go to Ask NAMI San Diego, ask that question, and a response will be populated for you. Some of the information included is housing, employment, insurance, mental and physical health resources, wellness, military, re-entry services, and many, many more. And recently we had in collaboration with the American Sign Language Resources, translated Ask NAMI San Diego into American Sign Language. So now the deaf community can ask the questions that they want to ask and receive information in their native tongue, their native language. Our ASL Answers is really important, and you can access that at aslanswers.com. From all of us here at NAMI San Diego, it has been a pleasure to serve you all. This was the most incredible program that I've worked on so far in my lifetime. I'm excited to be a part of NAMI in the future, and hopeful for our future, but at the same time it is sobering to think about the fact that the Tech Cafe for now will be going away. But thank you all for supporting us for the past 2.5 years. Thank you for your kind words. Thank you for your letters of recognition. And thank you for letting us serve you, San Diego.